Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Veronica here. How are you all doing? How is your day going? I hope you're having a fun day so far. Whatever day you're watching this, I hope it's a good day. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the struggles of being a mom of two under two. You guys, my kids are exactly 18 months apart. You guys, it was very stressful when they were younger. When I had my kids, they were exactly 18 months apart, like exactly to the day, like the day. But you guys, it was so stressful because my son was still very young, and now I'm bringing home a baby. Let's start from while we were at the hospital. So my mom brought my son to the hospital to come visit the little baby, and right from the hospital there was rivalry. Like there was some kind of rivalry going on already. My son was actually holding on to my daughter. You know, 18 months old baby, he didn't know what he was doing, and he just pinched her a little bit on the nose. She actually had a little bleeding. So I had to tell the nurse when the nurse came in that, you know, it was just a scratch. You know, I wasn't going to report my son. But anyway, so we came home, and on the first day, and mind you, before now, my son was already sleeping in our room. Right from birth, he was in our room. He had his own room, but we just never put him there because it was just too young. You know how we Nigerians are. Even though I wanted him to go to his room at 6 months and put some camera and stuff, but my mom was like, nope. How do you people over here in America just put your kid in a room and just blah 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 blah? Your kid is supposed to be by your side. Let your child feel you. Let your child sleep right beside you and stuff like that. So I never put him in his room until the day that I went to go have my baby. And he did fine. He did fine. When we came back from the hospital with the baby, that night, he actually was getting ready to go to his room. I was the one that was feeling guilty. And I said, you know what? You can come sleep in the room with us. You guys, that was the worst mistake I ever made. He was in the room with us, and in the middle of the night, while the child was waking up, you know, crying, the new baby was crying and waking up, my son woke up, and I picked the baby up, and he was looking at me like, well, what about me? And you could just feel the tears, like you could just feel the pain. His eyes were like filled with tears. It's so, like, it hurts just thinking about it. His eyes were like filled with tears. Like, it was so painful. It was so painful to watch. Like, I felt so sad. He couldn't sleep. He was crying. The dad was trying to hold him, but he wanted me instead. You know, I didn't know any better, because what I would have done at that point was give the baby to the dad and then actually hold my toddler. That's one of the tips that I will give you guys towards the end of the video. Okay, so watch till the end. So the next morning I had to put him in his room. Like, I just made him go to his room, and from that day on he started staying in his room. That wasn't the only problem we were facing. My daughter, the first week, we had to take her to the hospital every day because she was a bit jaundiced. Not to the point where they had to put her under the light, but she was jaundiced enough to where we would have to take her to the hospital every day for a week for them to draw her blood to make sure her bilirubin wasn't getting higher and higher. So now this is another thing. Every day, me and my husband were having to take the child, the new baby, to the hospital every day, leaving my son at home with my mom. And you know, he was not having it. He was not happy with that. Like, it just felt like we were neglecting him. So one day I was on Instagram, and it looks like me and Cece actually had a baby around the same time, and Cece was facing the same problem. So she came on Instagram to ask people, like, what do you do when you have two toddlers, or a toddler and an infant? What do you do at that point? And people were throwing suggestions and all, and one that I picked was, they said, if you have both of them crying, then take the toddler that's who you should face, because the toddler is smart enough to know that he or she is being abandoned, while the new baby might not remember. So if you have somebody that can hold the baby, then have somebody hold the baby while you actually face the toddler and take care of the toddler's needs, okay? Don't push the toddler to the side. So the tip is, if you have a toddler and an infant and they're both crying, wanting your attention, please take care of the toddler first. Have somebody else hold the baby and take care of the toddler, because the toddler is going to remember, the little baby would not remember. This was something that I learned, okay? And it worked for me. It worked for me because I started doing that and I saw a difference. And then my son was now becoming more welcoming to the baby. You guys, there was a time when I had to take my mom to the dentist and my husband had already traveled. So I had to take the baby and my toddler, because he wasn't in daycare at that time. Let me point that out. He wasn't in daycare at that time. So I took my mom and the baby and the toddler. We all went to the dentist. So they wanted to remove my mom's tooth. My brother was calling from here. My sister was calling me from Nigeria. If you know my family, we're very, very tight. If something is going on with one person, everybody from everywhere is going to be calling, okay? So they were in there doing that with my mom. I was still in the lobby with my son and my daughter, and they both started crying. They were crying. At this point, I didn't know the tips, okay? I was frustrated. Like, my daughter was like screaming. I had to carry the little baby. My son was not having it. He's over there crying as well. The people, the dental people, assistant or whatever, people that were at the lobby were staring at me, looking at me. My brother's calling me from Nigeria. He was on three-way with my sister. I'm trying to pick up the call to update them what was going on. Like, it was just too much, and I just screamed. Okay? And it's okay to scream. I screamed at the little boy. It's not okay to scream at your child, but I just had it up to here. And my big brother, while on the phone with me, was like, don't scream at that boy, because he is still a baby. He's still a baby. Just because you brought another baby into the house doesn't mean that he needs to grow up all of a sudden, which is right. Like, you don't expect them to just grow. We expect them to just grow up just because we have a new baby. And that's what I was thinking. Like, can't you see me holding a baby? How do you expect me to carry you too? And as soon as my brother said that to me, I felt so terrible. I actually had to think about it, because I never thought about it that way. I had to think about it, and I was like, this child did not send me to go have another baby as quickly as I did. So I will need to remind myself that he's still a baby and he needs attention. This was when I started searching around, and then I saw the CCME post and I saw the advice that somebody wrote there. So guys, that was what I did. I did it for a while, and then me and my husband decided that we're gonna start taking my son, who's the oldest, out and have my mom take care of the baby at home. So I would pump out milk, my mom would take care of the baby at home, and we would go out with my son. So we started giving him that one-on-one attention that he was getting before, so that everything is not just like pam, 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 pam. You know, baby's here, you don't matter anymore, nobody's just thinking about you, everybody's coming to visit baby, blah 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 blah. I know this video is all over the place, but but anyway, so and mind you, he also had to go start daycare. So it was just a lot of changes at the same time. He's starting daycare because there's this new baby at home. Nobody's giving him attention anymore because of this new baby at home. So obviously he had resentment. Trust me, you think they're kids and they don't know. They know. He had resentment over that little girl, because one day he took the baby bottle and went to go throw it at the front door. This is an 18-month-old child doing that. He took the baby's bottle, kind of like, you know what, get out of my territory, get out of my house. So yeah, so we started taking him out. We took him to the park, we took him driving around, we took him to McDonald's, his favorite place in the world. We took him to like kids playground and places, you know, just different places, so that we could give him that attention. And it worked. And now they're best friends. Like, they run everywhere together. If you're screaming at one, the other one is upset at you. If you're giving one something, the other one is asking for the sister or the brother. So I am so happy that I actually came across that tip. All right, try it and let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one. Oh, before you go, if you haven't subscribed, please do well to do so. Please do that right now. Subscribe. All right, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.